Val Osinski here at Gambler Lures. Just finished up day 3 of the Rayovac, getting ready to weigh in soon. Leading right now. Hopefully it holds on that way. And I just want to give you a quick recap on what I did this weekend on the lake. Day 1, it was nice and warm and sunny out, and I pretty much focused on flipping isolated mats, main lake type stuff with fish were transitioning, spawning flats behind me, main lake in front of me. I punched with a Gambler Why Not in June Bug Shadow Blue and in Gold Rush. Rains anywhere from 3/4 ounce to 1.2 depending on the thickness of the cover, and a punch skirt in our bow and silver color actually. And that was really the ticket on day 1. Every fish I caught on 26 pounds came on that. Day 2, things changed up a little bit. I struggled when the day started, and the wind had switched directions and the fish repositioned, and I had a really hard time kind of finding them. So a couple hours in the day, I had one fish, I was pulling a bait out of a mat, and it come up through the mat and crushed it. So I realized that they were kind of moving around and were a little more active. So I switched over to a bait my buddy Joe Holland, who's in the top 10 also, kind of turned me on to that he was throwing, was our new burner craw. And stuck with a 1.2 ounce weight, and it had a real fast fall and made a lot of commotion going down in the reeds. And I think it made a little difference with the wind blowing. The reeds were moving a lot, and I think that bait they could pick up on a little easier, and it really turned my day around. I went from having 3 fish to having just over 19 pounds pretty quick once I made that change. So that was it. Day 3, it got a little more interesting because it blew even harder today, and I started out flipping, and I caught a good one flipping. But it was really difficult with 20+ mile an hour wind. So I got into some open water. We had some overcast, and I picked up an easy swimmer. And it's rigged a little bit differently here. A lot of guys will throw a swim jig, but we get in this wiregrass in Florida, and it's really tough to swim it and without getting hung up. So what I did was I had a punch skirt, a little 3/16 reins weight, one of our punch skirts, and then our Texas rig, my bait behind that. And when that wind was blowing hard, it's tough to hit a hole necessarily. It was really hard to even see holes, so we were just fan casting in the grass, and this thing won't get hung up in anything. So it was a really productive day. I wasn't wasting time trying to get my bait out of weeds. I just threw this out and ripped it back across the top of the water, and finished out my limit that way. It turned out to be a real productive bait for me today.